Okay, everyone, greetings, and this will be another topic called offshoot, and it's from section 1 winter. Okay, over here, we actually want to emphasize that no matter how good your technical analysis is, it is only as good as your risk management. So over here, this is our take on risk management. I mean, of course, you can have your own method of risk management. I mean, if you want to use your 1 to 2% risk or whatever you want to use, it's up to you. But this is actually how we do our risk management. And before we actually go into it, I actually want you guys to read about this story about bananas. Okay, over here I won't go through it, but do take the chance to actually read it and understand what technically we are trying to portray within our risk management, because here we are actually trying to diversify the accounts that we actually have. Okay, but before we actually go into this, let's first talk about how orders actually work. As I'm not talking about order action, I'm not talking about order flow, I'm actually talking about how you can actually execute your orders. And the reason why I actually placed it into this topic, most people will actually place this in the beginning of an introduction, but I want to place it right here towards the end of section 1 winter. Why? Because you can actually see, okay, the correlation between how these orders actually can take place. Okay, now look at how these orders actually work first, and I'll quickly go right over here, okay, to this slide, types of trading. You can actually see how you can take advantage of different order types. Okay, so let's go back there. So you can actually see buy stop. Okay, when prices are below your buy stop, you actually place a buy stop. When prices touches it, you are actually speculating prices to actually break out. And if you place in a sell stop below the current prices, you're actually speculating prices to break out to the downside. For about buy limit, you're actually placing your buy order at most probably a support line, and you're actually speculating prices to reverse to the upside. Vice versa, for the sell limit, you're actually speculating prices to reverse to the downside. And this brings us to types of traders. So before we get into this, what type of traders are we? What type of traders are as for MINTEDSEED, what traders are we? We are actually supply and demand traders, and we trade order action. In other words, we trade the stop loss of retail traders. Okay, so how many types of retail traders are there? There are scalpers, there are intraday traders or swing traders, and there are position traders. Okay, so scalpers, this type of trading is very fast paced, holding entries for very short periods while harvesting very few pips. Okay, a lot of price action traders, they don't actually look into scalping, because for them it is high risk and it's not very profitable, and most of them don't actually want to spend too much time because scalping requires a lot of monitoring. Then there is the day traders or intraday traders, swing traders who hold their trades for longer periods. Sometimes, usually it's between 3 hours to 24 hours, and from 24 hours it may go on to up to a week. And there are the position traders. Position traders usually hold their periods from days to weeks to months. Okay, but for this, what I actually want to say that the reason why I'm showing these 3 examples over here, it's because these are typically what the price action trader actually looks at. Okay, what type of traders they actually intend to be. And they always say that scalping is for people that want quick profits, and they will swear by swing trading, where they will swear that they are a swing trader and that is the only way to trade, and they will actually assume that banks are position traders or hedge fund managers, hedgers. Okay, so the banks don't actually position trade. Why should they want to why should the banks actually hold their losses for months? Okay, so I'm not going to talk too much about this. Let's keep that for section 4. And then you have types of trading. Okay, first there is types of traders, now it's types of tradings. So types of trading is actually ways to trade. Okay, it doesn't actually define what type of trader you are. You can be a reversal trader, you can be a breakout trader, you can do swing trading, but you may be a scalper. Okay, so reversal trading is where you try to take a trade against the trend. Okay, I'm using price action analogies right now. And for breakout trading, it is when you are so-called trading with the trend. And swing trading is you are trading with the trend, but you are trading the swing, not the reversal of it. Okay, so here are actually some pros and cons of types of traders. And this, I won't go too much into it because it is not very relevant right now at this point, but it is good knowledge. You can actually go through it because not many courses will actually emphasize on this. And finally, let's get into types of trading. Let's first start from reversal trading. Okay, you can actually see that there is your entry and stop loss in the diagram to the left. Okay, so reversal trading, the good thing about it, it has high risk to reward ratio. Okay, so I mean, all these you can actually read it on your own. Okay, because it's quite straightforward. There's nothing much. But if you look at swing trading, okay, it has better pros and less cons. Okay, and the good thing about it is there is better control of risk management. This is if you are a price action trader. Okay, so the next one is I actually want to talk a bit about swings. What are swings? Swings are actually higher highs and higher lows. Okay, technically you can actually call this market structure, although it is an incorrect term of market structure. In this particular case, in this particular diagram that I'm showing you right now, prices are making higher highs and higher lows, right? Okay, it first starts from lower lows, then after that higher high, higher lows, higher high, higher lows. Okay, what are swings? The swing actually begins at the higher lows. Okay, so let's start from the bottom at the lower low. Banks and lucky traders bought there. Why do I say lucky traders? It's because these lucky traders are actually reversal traders. They do not know that. I mean, there is no way to actually know when a reversal may occur unless there are orders right there or market caps. Okay, so if you actually make a reversal trade there, you are actually quite lucky if you do not understand where the orders are located. And if you see that level right there, supply and demand traders bought here, that level there is where most of the traders, supply and demand traders, and where most of minted seed trades actually would lie at. Okay, it would mostly be at that level. Why is it at that level? It's because from the lower low, it is easier to identify where the orders are located. And over there, if you move further up, breakout traders bought here, breakout traders bought there, because breakout traders always buy resistance. And if they buy the resistance, prices may very well turn against them. That's why if you are a price action trader, your best bet in probability is to be a swing trader. So how do we actually identify swing trades? Most of them actually use the Fibonacci retracement. They will use the ratios 38.2, 50% or 61.8% to actually identify the completion of the swing trade, of the swing, which is the higher low. And sometimes they will say, let's buy the retest. Okay, so when prices break out the resistance is now support. So they wait for prices to head to the support, and that is where the swing will most likely end. Okay, and they will use some items like confluence. Okay, they will do the retest. Okay, as resistance now becomes support. And if the support so happens to be the 50% Fibonacci retracement, that is their confirmation. So that doesn't actually make sense. Why does that become a confirmation? Just because you are using two tools? Okay, sometimes they may be lucky. Okay, why can they be lucky? It's because supply and demand, or where the orders are located, sometimes it may be located at the support and resistance, but support and resistance can never be at the orders. Okay, it doesn't work the other way around, and this will all be explained in section 4, so please be patient about it. So the next big question is, since we talk about trading types, we talk about trader types, what type of traders are the institutions? On popular belief, most educational gurus and courses out there will tell you that the banks do position trades. Okay, they are position traders because they hold a lot of money. But that is somewhat incorrect. Okay, let's go through it. While position trader for banks are possible for stocks and hedging, let's first dive into some facts. Okay, the banks can profit on any time frame. Why would they choose the monthly time frame to do so? I mean, if I could earn money on the 1 minute time frame, I would most definitely choose that time frame because I can earn profits every minute. Why would I want to earn profits every month? All right? The banks control the market. If institutions control the market, why would they wait for a month? I mean, they control it, right? The banks know where to enter and exit. If you know where to enter and exit, why would you wait for a month? They profit fast, okay? The banks manipulate the market. They take advantage of the retailers' stop losses. Why would they want to position trade? They make the most orders in the depth of the market, okay? In order flow, most of the orders come from high frequency trading. And this is all done on the lowest time frame. It happens on the tick time frame. It happens so fast. Why would they even want to do position trading? And they are literally the liquidity. Technically, we as the retailers are their liquidity too. We belong to them, okay? So based on these facts, do you even think institutions want to position trade, or do you think they want to hold their position for weeks or maybe even months? Okay? Probably probably a bank actually they made up that, okay, we are position traders. Why? Because they want retailers to hold their positions longer, because the longer you hold your positions, that means the bank can take all his time to secure profits from you. Okay, so how do the institutions trade? Okay, this one you can read it yourself, but I want to emphasize on equilibrium, because the balance, again, let's talk about balance and imbalance, because the balance between supply and demand, by the way, banks are not supply and demand traders. They search for equilibrium, and along the way, retailers will get hunted down. Okay, so if the banks are not supply and demand traders, why do I actually say this? It's because there are many ways to trade supply and demand, but the banks do not use the retailer's way. Okay, so technically they are stop loss traders, and this is what we are trying to achieve. We are trying to be stop loss traders. Okay, we have identified a lot of order modules. We have identified many standard operating procedures to actually help you achieve this. But the whole idea for this topic is actually risk management. Okay, but before you can actually identify risk management, you have to first identify and understand where where do you actually place your risk. Do you place your risk in scalping? Do you place your risk in swing trading? Do you place your risk in position trading? Okay, and maybe you can actually take a step even further and actually have this question: where do the banks actually place their risk? Okay, so I mean, we can actually talk about this for the next for the next hour, but I'm not going to do so. I'm going to actually go into, I'm actually just going to move forward from right here. And you have to understand Minted Seed is not a system, okay? So the difference between a system and a strategy is the method and techniques that we imply, and ultimately risk management. So I advise all of you to actually read through this slide yourself to actually understand what we're actually trying to portray here. In the offshoot strategy, this is actually a risk management strategy. So part one of the offshoot strategy. Okay, so the reason why I gave the story of bananas initially, it's because this is I don't know if you guys know about this, but do you guys know that a banana plant can only bear fruit once? Okay, so once it bears fruit, it will actually have an offshoot of stems, okay? So when it has an offshoot of stems, the actual banana tree, it doesn't die, but it just stays there. It now cannot bear fruit, but its stems will be the next one bearing fruit, okay? So the initial banana tree is known as a pseudostem, okay? So I want to use this analogy as your deposit or capital, all right? Of course, you can deposit more, you can deposit less, you can actually make some tweaking through this risk management strategy. But to make calculations easier, let's first start from a $100 deposit. Okay, from this $100 deposit, what I need you guys to actually do is to break it down into probably different accounts under a same account of whatever you want to do. I mean, if you agreed that you are an experienced trader, so you can actually try to find your own ways to do this. So first of all, you divide it by 5. You divide your deposit by 5, and now you have 5 $20 accounts. And from each of these $20 accounts, I want you guys to divide it into $10 accounts. So the rule is simple. You never trade offshoot number 1, and you never trade the pseudostem. You only trade the final offshoot of $10, okay? $10, I mean, whatever currency you want to use, it's up to you. Okay, your task, trade safe and keep your lot sizes safe all the time until offshoot 2, which is $10, doubles to offshoot 2. I mean, offshoot 2 doubles into offshoot 1, okay? I'm sorry about that. Okay, so here, your whole idea is to double the $10 accounts. Okay, so once you have doubled these $10 accounts, all these $10 accounts now is $20. Okay, so currently how many $10 accounts do you have right now? You have 10, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you double this, all these $10 accounts, you now have $200, right? So your next goal is, once offshoot 2 is equivalent to $20, increase the lot sizes to full margin and trade it till it becomes $100. So from $10, your idea is to first make it into $20. You are first going to make all the $10 into $20. And then once all of it becomes $20, you try to trade it all to become $100. So 100 times 10 accounts is $1,000. So technically, in a way, for every trade, you are only risking $10. So even if you make a $1,000 account out from a $10 account, even if you want to trade it at full margin, the fact that you started from $10 means that your initial risk was just $10. Okay, this is the whole idea for this strategy. Why do we actually do this? It's because, I mean, of course, you don't have to start your initial deposit with $100. You can always start it with $1,000 and have your offshoot 2 at $100 instead. So your total deposit is $1,000, but your final division will be $100. I mean, you can do whatever you want. But over here, the logic of it is now you have, at the final point, now you have 10 units of $20. If you're going to blow it, you have to blow it 10 times in order to hit margin call. In other words, not literally, you can blow $20 for a number of 10 times and only lose $100. So this is the logic of this strategy. We don't actually apply 2% risk. Why? A lot of traders actually say, oh, we only risk 2% of our accounts. So that doesn't make any sense, because I've seen a lot of traders, they risk 2%, but they profit less than 2%, which is actually quite bad. Although their risk to reward ratio is 1 to 2, it just doesn't seem to work for them, because 2%, imagine 2% of $1 million account. Imagine 2% of a $10 account. I mean, come on. If you're going to use percentages as your risk factor, we actually don't see the logic behind it. Why do you want to risk a percentage of your account? Why not you risk a fixed amount of money and make that money grow? That makes more sense, right? I mean, if it doesn't make any sense for you right now, please read through all of this and you can actually ask your questions. But I mean, it's not a problem, but the whole idea for this is we want you to start off with $10 accounts and make the $10 accounts into $100 accounts, and from $100 accounts we want you to make it into $1,000 accounts. So you are actually only risking $10 for the fact that you only use that much in your when you actually open the account. So the next one here is offshoot part 2. And this actually talks about the downfall of most traders, okay? So every time we've seen these 3 sentences brought out a lot of time, okay? But before that, you can actually read the risk management formula. And that is how most people actually do their risk management, which is quite different from us because we go full margin all the time, okay? And I think some of you are thinking right now, full margin, that's actually very dangerous. I mean, come on, full margin on a $10 account. If I can make that $10 account into $100, that's pretty good. And what if I blow the $10 account? It's just $10, okay? Because others, they may be risking, I'm just risking 2% of my account, but that 2% could probably be $10,000, right? However, I go full margin, but I go full margin with $10, and this $10 becomes 100, and that 100 becomes 1,000, and that 1,000 becomes 10,000. All right, this is the whole idea for this strategy. You can actually try to absorb it, and if you like it, we can actually work on it. We can actually work on a trading plane soon, and everyone can actually use this strategy if it is not troublesome to you guys. But if you guys prefer to use your own risk management, that is fine with me. Okay, so the downfall of most traders is this. I've heard a lot of traders say this. You gotta have good psychology. You gotta trust your analysis and hold your positions. This is why most of the time traders will hold their losses until it's too painful to bear. Is it too painful to bear $10? Yeah, logically, of course $10 won't hurt anyone, right? Okay, and the next one is you gotta have good risk to reward ratios. Okay, so when your risk to reward is good, you can actually risk more. All right, so this is when a lot of traders actually fall into the trap of increasing their lot sizes or decreasing their lot sizes. But with $10, if you go full margin all the time until you reach $100, are you going to lose much? No, you're going to lose $10. Okay, let's just beat around the bush with that $10. Okay, you got to compound your account. Okay, let's go to the previous slide. If you can make all these $10 into $100, this is how you compound your account. Okay, compounding your account in terms of percentages Like, okay, today it's gonna be 1,000, tomorrow it's gonna be 2,000, then it's gonna be 3, 4, 5, 6, 10,000. I mean, that is seriously unrealistic, okay? Do not compound your account in that manner because you will always increase risk. And the final part of it is I'm going to talk to you about a conclusion, the pros and cons of this strategy, and the verdict of it. Okay, so the weakness and strengths, you can actually read through this, but I want to talk to you about the verdict. You can always increase the size of the pseudo stem. However, $100 is a great start. Why trade more if you cannot even protect $100? Okay? So here comes the big question. The big question. $10 is so small. How is it possible not to blow it? This is why you are in Minted Seed. We are going to teach you to identify the orders so you make better trades, more precision trades, and you will actually see that $10 is actually more than enough to trade. However, of course the process will take longer. I'm not asking you guys to just deposit $10. I'm telling you that everyone can actually start from $10. All right? So this is it for this particular topic. It's more this topic, it's more of reading and understanding a different way of looking at risk management. So and I'll see you in the next one. And I think I shall close it for now. And I'll see you in the next one.